Hey y'all, welcome back to your Daily Drip for Friday, December 12th, 2025. And as a reminder, this is your quick, kinda, daily astro weather report, plus some practical ways to actually use it in real life. So I'm pulling the chart from 6 a.m. from my location. So depending on where in the world you are, things may shift a little bit, but the planetary story and aspects are the same for all of us. And since we're doing these back to back every day, today is absolutely a continuation from yesterday. So some of yesterday's energy is definitely still lingering, but there is some very specific coding to today. So let's start here. Today is Friday, which is Venus Day. So as a reminder, this day means it's flavored by Venus themes. Things like what you value, what you tolerate, what you invest in, how you love. And I do want to point out, this is appreciative or romantic love. True unconditional love would be representative of the sign of Leo and the sun and the fifth house. But appreciative love is like, when you say you really love a restaurant, well, you appreciate that restaurant, you enjoy its food, maybe its service, its ambiance, or something like that. But if something were to change about that restaurant, if they completely changed their menu, or if the food quality went down, would you still love it? No. So that's not the same sort of love. Just thought I would mention that. Venus Day is also about how you receive and whether your connections are feeding you or draining you. Okay? Now, at 6 a.m., we've got Sagittarius rising at 2 degrees. Still early degrees of Sag, giving new storyline, new lens, and new truth. And the first house is absolutely packed with Venus, Sun, Juno, and Mars there, which is a whole Sag situation. So I would say this is one of those days where the energy says, I'm definitely not here to be quiet, okay? I'm here to seek truth, find truth, and be honest. But this is important, by the way. Honesty does not mean recklessness. Sagittarius energy will definitely tell the truth and forget that delivery exists sometimes. So we're going to talk about how to wield this without burning your whole life down. So here's one of the biggest new parts of today. The sun is at 20 degrees and 40 minutes of Sagittarius, which means the sun has moved into a new decan and duad flavor. So the sun is really giving Sagittarius energy in the Leo decan and the Leo duad. So today comes coated with double fixed Leo energy under that Sag sun. So if you're wondering what that means in plain English, what it's really giving is pride, visibility, ego themes, loyalty tests. Who gets access to me? Who deserves my warmth? And basically the energy of being done with shrinking. Leo-coded days can bring big heart energy, but they can also bring big stubbornness. Fixed energy is I meant what I said. So if someone's already been on your nerves, today can make you say it with your whole chest. And because it's Sag season, it's just not about feelings. It's about meaning. People want to talk about what's true, what matters, what's right, what's fake versus what's real. Now, the moon, because I think you guys should be aware by now that the moon is kind of like a daily mood ring. So where it is, what it's doing is very important. At 6 a.m., the moon is at 27 degrees and 23 minutes of Virgo. And later today, it's going to move into Libra around noon Eastern time. So the day starts off with late degree Virgo moon energy. And that's important because late degrees are like wrap it up degrees. This is like a final edit, last pass type of energy. And we're not carrying this with us into the next chapter. So let's wrap shit up. In 3-scoop language, this comes out to be the Virgo moon in the Taurus decan and Cancer duad. So the moon is saying, Virgo, analyze, clean up, get precise. The Taurus decan, stabilize, simplify, protect your peace. And the Cancer duad is calling for emotional safety, home, and who feels like family. That's a very specific vibe. And what it's basically screaming is, look, clean up the emotional mess. Don't do it by performing. Don't do it by pretending. Do it by being honest about what you need to feel safe. Then at noon, when the moon goes into Libra, there's going to be a pivot in the energy towards Something like, how do we deal with people? How do we renegotiate? How do we negotiate in the first place? How do we restore some sort of balance? So a general vibe today is edit first and relate later as far as the moon is concerned. Now, another big headline, Mercury has moved back into Sag and it's sitting at 0 degrees and 38 minutes. This is a fresh, early new thought cycle. But in this chart, it's in the 12th house. So yes, while Mercury is back in Sag, meaning truth is trying to come through, a 12th house Mercury is going to say the truth might come through privately, in dreams, through intuition, through something you overhear, through a realization you can't unsee. This is kind of like behind the scenes clarity, not the posted online type of clarity. And right next to that, Black Moon Lilith is at 29 degrees of Scorpio. A 29-degree Scorpio Lilith, it's like the definition of last call for the shadow. Secrets, power dynamics, control issues, obsession patterns, emotional manipulation. Anything that's been living in the basement of the psyche, today is like bring that shit upstairs. And because it's in the 12th, it might show up as paranoia, some sort of intense intuition, or feeling triggered and not knowing exactly why. This could be from old memories, old resentment, old rage, or a moment of wait. Now that I think about it, what happened to me was never okay. Now we're going to look at what is going on aspect-wise. So, this is one of the most important aspects of this mood for today, okay? Mars, which is action and heat, is squaring the moon, which is emotions and instinctual responses. So this is friction between what you feel and how you react. So people could be more irritable, more reactive, more likely to pop off, and more likely to feel pushed. So today, it's a good idea to ask yourself if you're responding to what's happening or to what you're holding on to. Because the moon in Virgo will justify a reaction with logic and Mars will justify it with anger. So you gotta be mindful. Now, Neptune is squaring Mars, and Neptune is also opposing the moon. This is fog meets fire energy. Neptune squaring Mars can look like low energy, scattered motivation, or confusion about your direction. It can also very much give mixed signals, okay? Acting off of assumptions or feeling like you're fighting something that you can't even name. Neptune opposing the moon can feel like heightened sensitivity, emotional overwhelm, empathy overload, feeling drained, or feeling like you can't get a read on people. So the practical advice today is simple. Don't make permanent decisions based on temporary confusion. That's super duper important. So if you're tired, overstimulated, or emotionally flooded, please just pause. Neptune aspects can make you project meaning onto things that aren't actually there. We're also dealing with Uranus quincunx Mars and Uranus trine the moon. Uranus is still in that Taurus zone that's been shaking up values and stability, and today it's doing two things. With that quincunx to Mars, this is irritation meets adjustment. You may want to pivot any plans that you have or change up your tactics or even the timing of what you're doing. And the trine to the moon is speaking on emotional breakthroughs, light bulb moments about what you actually need. So if something changes unexpectedly today, don't automatically panic. It might be the exact adjustment that frees up your energy for you. Woo, a lot of us need this. Now, Chiron is continuing its approach to squaring Jupiter. And this one can bring big feelings, and big reactions centered around pain, identity, and even belief. Now, Chiron in Aries already screams, heal yourself. But it also has some themes for the masculine too, since Aries is the sign associated with masculinity, men. So this can also show up as ego, rage, independence, entitlement, or me versus you dynamics. Now that square to Jupiter can inflate it. This can be people moralizing their pain, people preaching instead of processing, or people turning healing into a freaking battlefield. So today, you need to be careful of that I'm right energy. Healing is not a damn debate club. Now, we've got Pluto approaching a sextile to Mercury, so this is actually a gift, okay? This is the energy of deep thinking and real insight, the kind of energy that allows you to see beneath the surface and saying what needs to be said with intention. If you're going to have a hard conversation today, this is the aspect that can help you do it in a way that actually transforms something. But you've got to be careful not to overpower or be obsessed with control. Now, the nodes are separating from their square to Venus, and this energy is still lingering from yesterday. So this is surrounding relationships, contracts, money choices, self-worth decisions, stuff like that, right? So even though it's separating, it's like a decision has kind of been made, or the truth has been revealed, or maybe the tension has finally shown itself. So today you may have to integrate this. And the way to do it is to face what it actually is. Go, okay, so this is what it is. Accepting what something is allows you to move from there. You can either keep things status quo or change something, but you've got to be able to identify it first. Now, practical ways to work with today's energy? Don't pop off before noon, particularly, or at all. The Virgo Moon is trying to clean things up. Mars squaring the moon can have you react first and regret it later. And make sure that you're fact-checking the things that you feel. These Neptune aspects can make you feel certain and still be wrong. So the question to ask yourself is, what do I know versus what am I assuming? Make sure you're editing access, because the Leo coded sun is saying to protect your heart and your pride. Not everyone deserves your warmth. And today is calling on you to choose the most honest version of you, not the most dramatic version. Sagittarius energy plus the Leo undertones can turn truth into performance. You want to keep it real, not theatrical. And if you get a gut feeling, listen to it, but don't let it send you into a spiral. Lilith at 29 degrees of Scorpio in the 12th house can be a bit psychic about the undercurrents, yes, but it can also be paranoid. Make sure you breathe, confirm, then make your moves. So today's daily drip basically comes down to this. Say to yourself, I can be honest without being destructive. I can protect my peace without closing off my heart. And I can release what's heavy before I try to balance it. I love you guys. See you tomorrow.